The mirror you didn't know you were looking into. Many people search for themselves by looking inward, hoping answers will rise from quiet reflection. Yet this inward search often leads to a deeper maze where thoughts circle without direction. Introspection held in isolation becomes a pool that never moves, showing only the same patterns again and again. Notice how a still pool reveals nothing new. Its surface reflects only what you already expect to see. This script invites a shift toward a broader landscape. Instead of peering into the mind for clarity, we step outward into the larger field of experience. The outer world becomes a moving surface, revealing what the still pool could never show. When you read life as a reflective surface, you see aspects of yourself with new honesty. This begins a path where discovery grows from interaction rather than isolation. Understanding comes from movement. Growth comes from contact. When introspection becomes a closed loop, many people sit alone with their thoughts and believe they are uncovering truth. Yet repeated examination of the same ideas can trap a person in circles. Thoughts become dense and tangled. They shift like drifting sediment in a small pond. When stirred, that sediment clouds the water instead of clarifying it. Notice how this mirrors the experience of overthinking. You search for shape but find only more motion. This is why prolonged introspection without grounding becomes paralysis. When you stay inside the mind too long, your view narrows. The world outside becomes distant. The self becomes distorted. The search becomes endless because there is no new input. Each reflection simply uses the last one as its source. True clarity requires fresh contact. You need the wider terrain of daily experience to bring new patterns into view. Without that wider terrain, the mind repeats its echoes and mistakes them for depth, turning toward the world. A meaningful shift begins when you allow the world to become part of your search instead of keeping the search locked inside your mind. Think of the world as a slow, steady river. Its current carries information about direction, movement, and change. You learn about yourself by noticing how you move within that current. Some situations draw you forward, others create resistance. Some moments flow with ease, others challenge your balance. These patterns reveal inner truths far more reliably than isolated introspection. Notice how the river never hides its movement. When you enter it, you feel your place within it. This is the beginning of outrospective awareness. You gain understanding by participating rather than withdrawing. The world reflects your choices, reactions, and desires. This reflection becomes a guide. If this resonates, consider joining our community. It's a calm space to explore growth through steady, grounded ideas. The philosophy hidden in plain sight. Many traditions focus on inward searching. Yet some thinkers argued that the world reflects the self with greater accuracy than solitary thought. Imagine a wide coastline where waves meet land. Each wave leaves patterns in the sand. These patterns reveal the shape of the shoreline. In the same way, experiences leave patterns that reveal the shape of your inner world. Goethe understood this. He saw life as a conversation between action and reflection. He did not wait for perfect clarity before engaging with the world. He let experiences shape his understanding. The coastline metaphor shows how contact with life leaves visible traces. These traces reveal truth. You learn through engagement. Movement shapes awareness. The world becomes a living map that shows you what your mind alone cannot reveal. The coastline is never static, neither are you. The journey that reframed a life. Goethe felt confined by routine and expectation. His life had become predictable. He needed movement. Think of an early morning valley where mist begins to lift. As sunlight touches the ground, new shapes emerge. During his journey to Italy, Goethe stepped into this kind of revealing landscape. He moved through new places, new cultures, and new challenges. Each moment cleared a small part of the mist that had gathered in his life. Through this movement, his inner clarity returned. Notice how valleys reveal their form only when air begins to clear. The same happens when a person leaves familiar patterns. New places awaken new insight. Goethe acted before understanding. Understanding arrived because he acted. Action before clarity. Many people wait for certainty before moving, yet clarity often forms only after you step into motion. Picture a forest path where the next few steps become visible only as you take them. You see the ground just ahead, not the entire route. This is how growth works. You understand your direction by walking it. Goethe lived this path. Modern philosophy echoes the same idea. Who you become is shaped by your actions. You define your qualities through what you choose. You gain identity through movement along the path. Waiting for perfect certainty keeps the trail hidden. Taking the first steps reveals the next ones. Notice how the forest only opens with motion. Your reactions as reflective markers. Every emotional reaction carries information. When you feel a sudden surge of irritation or tension, it points to something beneath the surface. Imagine a still field where tall grass bends when touched by a passing breeze. The shape of that movement shows where the breeze has been. In the same way, your reactions show where old beliefs and fears still live. Many people assume emotions are created by the outer situation, yet they mainly reveal the inner terrain. When someone frustrates you, the frustration highlights a part of yourself that needs attention. Notice how the grass does not resist the wind, it simply shows its path. Your emotional responses work the same way. They display patterns formed long before the moment arrives. When you begin to read these movements without judgment, each reaction becomes guidance rather than disturbance. Understanding the shadow through reflection. Difficult reactions often point toward parts of yourself you rarely examine. Think of a calm lake surrounded by high cliffs. When sunlight reaches certain angles, the cliffs cast long, shifting shapes across the surface. These moving shapes resemble qualities you may avoid seeing within yourself. They are not harmful. They simply reveal what has remained unacknowledged. When a person irritates you, the reaction may mirror a trait you fear expressing. The world becomes the cliff. Your mind becomes the lake. The reflected shape guides you toward understanding. Notice how the lake shows the form even when you are not looking directly at the cliff. This is how life works. Your reactions reveal aspects of yourself that lie outside your daily awareness. By observing these reflections, you begin the work of integration. Admiration as a sign of inner growth. Just as difficult reactions reveal areas for healing, admiration reveals areas of potential. Consider a distant mountain peak, catching the first light of morning. Its brightness draws your eye long before you reach it. In the same way, qualities you admire in others pull your attention because something within you moves toward them. These qualities shine like the mountain's early light. They encourage growth. When you admire courage, discipline, or creativity, this admiration signals readiness to develop those qualities yourself. Notice how the mountain does not demand that you climb it. Its presence alone inspires direction. Admiration works this way. It highlights possibilities waiting to be explored. When you treat admiration as guidance rather than comparison, it becomes a source of hope rather than pressure. The deeper signal hidden inside envy. Envy feels uncomfortable, yet it contains valuable information. Imagine a wide plain where one area catches more sunlight than the rest. That brighter patch draws your attention immediately. It stands out because it holds something you want to understand. Envy works like that bright patch. It draws your awareness to something your inner life is ready to pursue. When you feel envy towards someone's success or freedom, it points toward a direction you wish to move. Notice how the plane remains balanced even with one brighter area. The contrast helps you navigate toward clarity. Envy becomes useful when you examine the deeper desire beneath it. The feeling marks a location of emerging purpose. The problems that call to you. Some issues in the world affect you more strongly than others. This is not random. Think of a deep canyon carrying the steady sound of a distant river. Even from far away, certain tones reach you more clearly. These tones guide your attention. In the same way, some problems in the world reach your awareness with greater force. They reveal where your strengths and concerns align. When a particular issue bothers you repeatedly, it indicates a place where your energy may serve others. Notice how the canyon does not create the sound, it amplifies what already exists. Your calling emerges in the same way. The world highlights the areas where your action can bring meaningful change. Purpose found through engagement. Purpose is not discovered through isolation. It appears through contact with life. Visualize a long shoreline where waves shape the sand over time. Each wave changes the form slightly. These changes show how interaction builds structure. Your purpose develops through similar shaping. When you engage with challenges, observations, and desires, you gain clarity. The shoreline metaphor reveals how purposeful work forms gradually. You learn by responding to the needs you notice. You grow by acting where you feel drawn. Notice how the shoreline shifts with each wave, yet remains consistent in direction. This is how your purpose evolves. It forms through steady contribution, guided by the reflections the world offers. Integrating the three reflections. Your reactions, your admiration, and the problems that move you form a complete system. Each one reveals a different part of your inner landscape. Think of three streams flowing toward the same quiet basin. One stream carries fast water shaped by recent storms. Another carries clear water from distant hills. The third carries sediment from deep ground. When these streams meet, the basin becomes a place where all currents combine. Your life works the same way. The reactions that trouble you show what needs healing. The qualities you admire show what is ready to grow. The problems that concern you show where you are needed. Notice how the basin becomes richer when all streams arrive. Integration happens when you allow these reflections to guide you without resistance. Healing through honest observation. Healing begins when you stop avoiding the reflections that challenge you. Imagine a narrow ravine where sunlight reaches only at certain times. When the light arrives, the hidden walls become visible. These walls may hold marks shaped by past weather. They show the history of the ravine. Your emotional triggers work the same way. They reveal old patterns shaped by earlier experiences. When you observe them without judgment, you bring light into areas that remained unseen. This is steady, grounded healing. It does not rush. It does not force. Notice how the ravine changes slowly as seasons pass. Healing follows this natural pace. If this journey supports your growth, consider subscribing. It helps you stay connected to future lessons shaped with the same calm clarity. Building the qualities you admire. Growth begins when admiration becomes action. Think of a hillside receiving new seeds. The seeds settle quietly at first, then press roots into the soil. Qualities like courage, creativity, or discipline grow the same way. They begin as small intentions. When nurtured, they gain strength. Admiration shows where to plant these seeds. You act by taking small, steady steps that align with the qualities you value. Notice how the hillside does not transform in a single season. It develops through patient tending. Growth becomes visible when inner intention meets outer consistency. Contribution as the natural outcome of growth. When healing and growth align, contribution becomes natural. Picture a broad plateau where rainwater gathers and begins to flow outward in many small streams. The plateau does not force this movement. It releases water because it has reached fullness. In the same way, contribution emerges when your inner life becomes steady. The problems that move you gain direction through your strengths. Notice how each stream follows the shape of the plateau. Your contribution follows the shape of your experience. You give what you are equipped to give. This is purpose expressed through natural alignment. Living in conversation with the world. A fulfilling life forms when you treat the world as a partner in your growth. Think of a wide estuary where saltwater and freshwater meet. Both sides influence the other. This meeting point creates new forms of life. Your inner and outer worlds work the same way. When you engage with people, challenges, and opportunities, your inner life adjusts. When your inner life adjusts, your actions shift. Notice how the estuary thrives because of the meeting, not despite it. Your growth strengthens through this same exchange. The self you create. The self is not a fixed shape waiting to be uncovered. It is something you create through engagement. Consider a slow-forming ridge shaped by centuries of wind. Each shift in the air changes its form, yet the ridge remains grounded. Your identity forms through repeated actions shaped by experience and choice. You grow as you respond to the reflections the world offers. Notice how the ridge becomes strong through steady shaping. Your character develops the same way. Moving from reflection to intention. Reflection without movement creates stagnation. Movement without reflection creates confusion. Balance emerges when both work together. Picture a long meadow where tall grasses sway with each change in the air. When the wind shifts, the grasses adjust. When the air grows still, the grasses settle. Your growth works this way. You respond with intention. You pause with awareness. Notice how the meadow remains steady even while it moves. This steady movement becomes the foundation of purposeful living. Becoming the person you choose to build. Your life becomes meaningful when you stop searching for a hidden self and start creating a chosen one. Think of a clear horizon line where sky meets open water. The meeting point invites direction. It gives you space to move forward. Each step you take shapes who you become. You no longer wait for clarity. You build it through action. You no longer wait for identity. You form it through steady choices. Notice how the horizon remains open, no matter where you stand. Your future holds the same openness. Your calling now is simple. Walk toward that horizon with calm intention. Let tomorrow be shaped by the person you practice becoming today. If this episode supported your journey, you are welcome to stay connected for future reflections that help you grow with steadiness and clarity.